Okay, well, let's begin episode 9 of Recall Japan.
I gave Ku like my split of the or coach's split award because I thought that what they were doing with Grendel and how they adapted to Nap coming in was pretty impressive on the whole. But there's a lot that Ku. I mean, I can't say it's all him, but like things that tend to be associated with the coach that happened during this series that drove me absolutely nuts. Like Pantheon on 9-16, especially pre hotfix, was a bad champion.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot more to say about that. They not only picked it at all, they picked it in the first half of the draft, so it was counterpickable. The other thing I want to talk about is so one thing that is almost universally applicable to calling out coaches for is early game set plays, right? When you have a thing where it's like the team is obviously set up for this from before the game has even started. And we saw that twice CGA, when they were on the red side, went for the red buff invade at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And both times were kind of a disaster. One of them didn't matter. One of them ended up losing them the game.
Like,
is there anything that Crest did really well that impressed you throughout the series? I have one that I don't think either of you are going to expect.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Mundo pick.
Why? Why the Mundo pick of all things?
Because, one, it's not something that you would expect. I don't think Mundo, I'd have to check, but I don't think Mundo is really getting play anywhere in the world. But Mundo still does what Mundo has always done, and that he demands a team that can consistently kite back and still do damage to him. And it's something that when you look at the composition that had been picked up by V3, they didn't have anything there. So you just look at the composition and just ask, who on this team can kill Mundo? And it's Camille, maybe? So let's transition a little bit as we start looking more towards the finals. Let's look at the semi-finals a little bit more and talk about what V3 did over the course of the season.
Yeah, we talked mostly about Crest Gaming, so I guess it's time to talk about V3.
I'm trying to think, what did they do? I feel like they just didn't lose.
Yeah, I remember it.
I feel like this game showcased how good Paz really is, and it's like, you know, like before it was like I thought Evie was like number 1, and then Paz was like right underneath, but now I feel like it's a little bit closer. After watching this game, I feel like maybe Paz is maybe better than Evie, or maybe they're about the same. Like I feel like this game.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah, that's very bold.
No. Oh, look, I watched this game. Like, sure, he had some bad moments, but like, it's really hard to like say, okay, Paz messed up. This is Paz's fault. When you're like, for example, in game 4, when your bot lane's ending, or when your jungler's just like, I don't know what your jungler's doing or your support's doing. It's like he was still like a driving force in that game. Like, for example, like Evie, he could rely on other players. I felt like Paz was on his own a lot, and he was able to like help bring advantages to his team. He was able to help create a pressure that Crest Gaming had to deal with. Like Nap was not able to deal with this pressure on his own. Whereas like, I don't feel like Paz was like, you know, saying like, oh, save me, baby, save me. He was like, hey, this is an opportunity that we can like win. Here, I'll help you, you know. I'll TP bot. Like game 5, he was like, you know what? Level 1, I screwed up my level 1. It doesn't matter. We are going to win this level 1 bot fight. I am TPing bot. I will recall walk back to lane against a Shen. I'll be down like 30 CS. I can't do anything. But don't come and help me. Like I will do this on my own. You keep smashing Art because that was their only win condition. And I feel like sure, maybe I'm giving too much credit to Paz, but I think he did really well this series, just from like an outside perspective. Like
baby was baby, which means, you know, to quote Kevin from earlier, he's very win or int, and sometimes both.
Yeah. I mean,
so a pretty glaring hole in Baby's champion pool, in that he doesn't play Sejuani. He's played it twice over the course of the season, has gone 1-on-1 on it, but it hasn't been banned against him like it has against almost every other jungler in almost every other league. And it's one of Steel's kind of signature champions over the course of this split. And so just giving a free ban away, right? If you're forced to ban it every single game, DFM just kind of has a free leg up in this series with a champion that is good.
Yeah.
Is anybody think that the most likely result is something other than Detonation Focus Me 3-1 over V3?
3-0.
Yeah,
Do you think it's more likely 3-0 than 3-1?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
my philosophy is that like you should always try to look at each game isolated and then try to see like what's the chances overall that V3 can win a game. And I feel like as the games go on, V3's chances of winning get smaller and smaller and smaller. So like sure there's a world that V3 does win a game, but what is the chances of that is more likely than the fact that Detonation just smashes them 3-0. I feel like Detonation will just smash them 3-0 more than the fact that V3 should win a game. I feel like if they win a game, that's pretty impressive. If they win like 2 games, I'd be like, whoa, that's actually a really good season. If they win the series, I'd just like bow down towards their new
I think we'd
overlords.
all be going nuts.
I'd say 45% chance 3-0, 45% chance 3-1, 9% chance 3-2, 1% chance 3-0. So, or sorry, 3.
The 2-3 the other way, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
There
okay.
you go. Yeah.
3-0 for
So, like,
V3 is a 1%
Yeah,
chance.
yeah.
I could agree with that.
3-0 for V3 is
Yeah.
lower than that. I don't think they will 3-0 Detonation. But
I don't think that's reasonable. I just want to. The only reason why I give V3 a game is just the way that Baby plays. You know, where it is kind of like the Wyvern, where it is very early game focused and he can snowball games out of control. I think this is a team where if they do get a really good early game off, then they are good enough to snowball it through. And I think, there's a reasonable chance that Baby could do that at least once.
It's always nice to have like an English broadcast for like special finals and stuff like that. Like, people used to like English broadcast for like the Taiwanese finals or like the like all these like minor regions that like nobody really cares about. But it's always nice to get like someone that quote unquote watches the region. Like I don't know if they actually did watch like all of Vietnam, but they say they do. So it's like nice to hear their story, like explain the players in like a language I can understand, because I can't understand any other language as English and Japanese.
For me, it's really nice watching these broadcasts because you're so used to. The only thing you generally hear about these regions is what like the major region casters have to say when they actually show up at Worlds, and then if you're paying attention, you very clearly know that those are not actually the important stories from those regions. Like I feel like every year we hear someone from Europe or NA talk about how Saros is the faker of Japan, and everybody who actually like watches Japan is like, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, not Saros fanboys. They're like, yeah, I agree. He is the faker of Japan. I get him.
Youth opponents are probably the faker of Japan.
Well, that's what I always said, but then I got flamed.
He's a very strong player, and I really like the bot lane of Detonation. I think that would be the focus, or Evie even. I think Evie is a very huge, high impact player, and he's been an iconic LJL player for so long.
Yeah. I mean, Saros is not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's not bad.
The way he plays and the way that Faker plays are just like
very different.
So different.
He's the great neutralizer of mid lane. He can take he can take, very strong mid laners and just turn it into a farm lane. And that's really good talent to have, especially for a team that plays like Detonation does. So, but Faker doesn't do that. So.
See, this is why Dasher is the best player in the LJL.
Dasher's insane.
Yeah.
I really like watching Dasher play.
No, Ramune is probably the second best domestic mid laner, but it's really hard.
Wait, who's
we haven't
first?
seen him in a bit. I mean, Saros.
we don't have that much time to get into an argument.
More than Saros, but
no, it's not even that. It's like I was gonna say Roki was better domestic mid laner than Saros historically. If you just discount 2019, Roki was always better than Saros until recently.
That's a bold claim.
You can't just be like Saros is best because he wins. So I understand where Kevin's coming from. He could say like Saros is the best mid laner for Detonation stylistically, but that doesn't mean he's the best, individual mechanical player. And you can't really fault people like Roki and
Roki was smashing the LGL. Then he got banned and had to go to the Challenger Series, where he was exiled on onto Scars and Burning Core and all those horrible teams. Then he's like on prison, where they got rid of all their best players like Yutori Moashi, and they stuck him with Yuhi, and he just plays Lulu mid. He's a broken man, but he was once a great mid laner. I salute you, Roki, if you're watching. I still think you're good.
Alright, that's going into...
I'm still waiting for 2021 or whenever the fuck Burning Core comes online.
Actual question though, who do you think is the best player to have ever played in the LGL?
That's easy. I got my answer already. I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, I know your answer. Definitely.
Is it Roki?
What?
Not the... Okay,
wait,
what's your answer?
Wait, best player of all time in Japan?
Yeah, best player who has ever played in LGL.
Yeah, Yutapon. By far. It's not even close.
Really? Including imports?
Oh, imports as well?
Yeah, anybody who has ever played in LGL.
Fuck. No, I'd still probably have to give it to Yutapon because, like, Dasher hasn't really proven anything, like, internationally.
Just saying, Blank won Worlds.
Okay. Okay, that's cheating. That's cheating. Okay, I forgot Blank was even in the LGL right now. I was like, oh yeah, Blank is in the LGL. And then I remembered what his team did, and then I got depressed, and I just don't want to talk about Blank anymore. Okay,
that's actually interesting. I'd have to think about that one more, because Blank has just looked so underwhelming since he came to Japan.
Yeah. But if you're talking about the history, then Blank has accomplished way more than all the Japanese players combined. So it's like...
So I guess I'm cheating by picking Blank.
I thought you were talking about just Japanese players, because then I would say Yutapon is hands down by far the best.
Yeah, I mean, if it's domestic, I think it's definitely Yutapon.
And like if we're discounting Blank,
is just so impressive that even with the USG that he's on right now, he's still solo carrying games against DFM. Right, I can't think of a single other player in Japanese history that could do that. Like, even when like Gongo was around, the rest of USG was fairly strong, and I think he's been sitting on the bench of Kingzone.
No, KT. I think he's on the bench. I don't know if he got fired. Yeah. He's not playing though.
He played a couple games over the course of the series before giving up his spot to...
So I mean, summer season's all been praised, so I don't know if he's still there.
Yeah.
And but
Gongo couldn't do it. Remind couldn't do it. Blank clearly can't do it.
Well, I want to give a special shout out to Dara if we're going to talk about imports.
Okay, yeah.
I think Dara had an amazing impact, but obviously, like, you know, when he was playing, there's only like 2 imports, and now it's like a really different story where there's like every team has 2 imports. So, like, if you'd have to take that into consideration, but I feel like at the time Dara has he changed the LGL because he was like one of the first imports to come in. He learned the language. He was able to like work well with like Japanese players. He's like respected as a shot caller. So I feel like you could throw Dara's name up there. I wouldn't vote for that. I'd still probably have to give it to Dasher or Yutapon. Because Yutapon has international experience and Dasher doesn't. That's where
doesn't yet.
When did Dasher come into the LGL?
This year, 2019. Yeah.
So
exactly.
You can say that he is a very impressive player, really mechanically gifted, and like a hard carry for USG. But if we're talking just in terms of Japan specifically, I think Yutapon has just been really good for a very long time. So
I mean, he even played top lane internationally and did really well.
Yeah. I want to see Dasher.
This is just mostly just like my love letter to Dasher. So I'm going to be very, very sad when he ends up leaving LGL.
I didn't watch him play before he came to the LGL. He was on some like Challenger Korean team, so I don't know.
The Sharks?
Something like that. I believe so. Just going off memory. I think it was ES Sharks.
Yeah, Sharks.
But yeah, like, it's really hard to like obviously Dasher's like really good, but it's like you're only watching him in the context of one league. Because I doubt anyone watched Challenger Korea just to see what Dasher did back then. I didn't care enough. So I'm pretty sure no one else did.
That's so confusing.
What?
I'm just looking at Dasher's wiki page. He used to play with a player named Doran, who was playing for the ES Sharks as a support, but it's a different Doran.
Oh, really?
In the same region. Yeah. The guy that Dasher played with now goes by Kuri, and the Doran that plays for Griffin is just an entirely different person.
Oh, okay.
Okay, like 15 years from now, when everybody's playing and everybody's just like trying to come up with their unique name, it's like, wait, which faker was it? Was it the 2019 faker or the 2030 faker?
Just to say, I'm a blank fangirl, and I really hope that he succeeds in whatever he does in the future. So
me too.
I wanted to say that.
I agree. Nice. All right, Josh, anything you want to say before you head out?
Nah. Dasher, please don't leave. That's about it, I think.
Where's your love letter, Kevin? Where's your love letter? Pick a player. Give him a love letter.
I'm single. I'm available. Want to make this work? I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm not very like. I don't demand that much. You just go out there, smash some foreign players at Worlds, come back to Japan, smash the domestic players too. I'll be by your side. I remember you 2014, 2015 when they made you play useless top lane champions, and I supported you. I was there for you. When people said
you supported Maokai.
Yeah, Maokai, all these garbage picks, and then that org asked you to go, our AD carry is terrible. I don't want to name names, but we want you to play AD carry. And you said yes. I will say yes too. You want me to be your support? Actually, you don't want me to do that, but I will watch you play with other supports. I'm there for you, Tapon. Contact me. My DMs are open.
What a wonderful closing thoughts.
Okay. Honestly. This has gone on for too long. It's too ridiculous. Okay, we're done. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye.